The WWE United States Championship is my favorite championship in all of wrestling. But even though the belt looks awesome and offers plenty of potential for personality, the champion holding it isn't guaranteed to be GOATed every time. Today I'm comparing some of the worst to ever downgrade the prestige of the US title to some of the best wrestlers that fought tooth and nail to make the strap as great as it is. Starting off with arguably the peak of the US champs tier list, or at least on the Mount Rushmore of US champs, the greatest of all time, John Cena. When John Cena left the main event picture for the midcard and challenged Rusev for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 31, no one had an idea just how much the picture was about to be disrupted. Apparently Vince McMahon didn't have an idea either, as the iconic John Cena Open challenge wasn't a long-term plan, but an idea created by the C Nation leader himself on a whim to showcase new talent and help him improve in the ring. And he absolutely did what he set out to do. He came out each and every week, faced a fresh opponent, putting on bangers with Dean Ambrose, Neville, Sami Zayn, Stardust, Dolph Ziggler and many others. Hell, he even beat the at the time active WWE champion Seth Rollins with a broken freaking nose. The worth of the red, white and blue belt exploded due to the many high-profile defenses, and the reign will be remembered for a long time.
And if you want some, come get some!
A person who won't be remembered as much is the one who put an end to Cena's legendary Open Challenge era. His name is Alberto Del Rio. Now Alberto isn't incompetent in any way, but bookers didn't do a good job keeping the momentum alive that was created by John Cena. After Sheamus captured the WWE Championship by cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase in 2015, he founded a faction called League of Nations, comprised of himself from Ireland, Wade Barrett from England, Rusev from Bulgaria and US champ Alberto Del Rio from Mexico. It's always dangerous to attach championships to factions, as they run risk of getting lost in the shuffle, especially if the stable is as lame as the League of Nations that just existed to be fed to the big dog Roman Reigns. To make it even worse, Del Rio played hot potato with the belt with Kalisto of all people, a disappointing follow-up to a great period. Jumping 10 years ahead in time to 2025, Sami Zayn, in a somewhat baffling change of creative direction, challenged Solo Sikoa for the US title, successfully.
Can he pull it off? Sami Zayn!
This was pretty confusing. Sami just weeks prior expressed his desire to be world champion. All of a sudden he was fine with the secondary belt. Doesn't matter, as his run turned out to be pure magic. John Cena's final appearance on SmackDown before retirement. In the beautiful full circle moment, Sami wants to pay back what he received from John Cena a decade prior, a free shot at the US title. Back then it was Sami arriving at the main roster, now it's John's time to leave. This couldn't have been more brilliant conceptually. The following John Cena vs Sami Zayn match ran for 21 minutes, with both competitors kicking out of the wildest moves. They really treated this like a pay-per-view main event match. Now, with the blessing from the creator, Sami revived the United States Open Challenge, and for 7 short but sweet weeks he put on classic TV matches with the best the SmackDown and an NXT roster had to offer. Rey Fenix, Carmelo Hayes, Siobhan Evans, Aleister Black and Shinsuke Nakamura, before leaving the midcard title picture better than he found it by dropping the belt to returning Ilya Dragunov, who almost made this list as a good champ because he continued the Open Challenge, but crowds never reacted as loudly when Ilya's music hit. If you want a deeper dive into this topic in particular, I made a dedicated video on Sami's run. You can check out after this one. Let's look at the polar opposite. From someone who defended week after week to someone who barely ever defended the championship. The Maverick, Logan Paul. Logan held the title for a staggering 273 days after cheating to beat Rey Mysterio for it. Wanna take a wild guess how often he defended? 2 times. Remember when there was a rule that you need to defend your title once every 45 days or something like that, or else you're stripped of the title? Logan was a real life heel, as he took something away that belongs on WWE TV and pretty much made it exclusive to his social media channels. Logan has decent star power and is athletic in the ring, but he dragged the title down to the trenches in terms of prestige. 273 days. 2 defenses, and one of which had an ending in which he basically lost but got saved by DQ.
Austin Theory, brass knuckles, trying to rip her to win the championship!
This fucking pisses me off. Can't you do that with the much less flexible Intercontinental title? Why does it have to be the only belt with S-tier title belt design? Let's just move on to the man that saved the championship by beating Logan for it at SummerSlam 2024. LA Knight.
Yeah!
LA Knight had the monstrous task ahead of him of breathing new life into the dead husk that was the US title at the time he won it. Thankfully he succeeded with flying colors. First off, he actually showed up on SmackDown every week. Crowds actually popped when his music hit. They chanted "You deserve it" weeks after the title win, something they usually do once, the appearance after the title win. After less than 3 weeks, he already surpassed Paul's reign in number of defenses. Adding to that, he had fire matches against Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. A triple threat between the three went for a match of the year 2024 contender. Even if a match wasn't 5 stars, it was still enjoyable because live crowds were invested in Knight as a champion and made noise for him. With hyped enough crowds, every wrestling match becomes fun, no matter the quality. So why did WWE fumble the bag this bad right at the next champion? Shinsuke Nakamura returned with a ton of potential to finally receive the push he deserves. Yet he disappeared from TV almost as bad as Logan Paul. Just like Logan, he defended not more than 2 times before dropping the belt. One of the defenses was dark, but both had a disappointing DQ ending. Shinsuke couldn't get a single clean pin or submission done as champ. By the point he entered the Rumble, everyone already forgot SmackDown even has a midcard champ. After 97 days he dropped the strap back to LA Knight, but Knight's second reign wasn't special either, and it took a red hot Jacob Fatu for things to improve. The phenomenal AJ Styles has stated that 2026 will be his last of in-ring competition, and this makes me sad, as AJ in my mind is the greatest wrestler of all time, and age hasn't slowed him down a bit. So let's look at his greatness as United States Champion. AJ Styles was such a great fit with the American belt, especially the old design, that they made him win the belt at a house show. Title changes at house shows is something that happens basically never in the modern era of WWE. This just proves how much faith the bookers had in the ace that runs the place. And let's be honest, in 2017 Jinder Mahal couldn't be taken seriously as world champion, so more pressure was on the secondary title. AJ Styles and Kevin Owens had a fire feud for the belt during the time. They had a really fun match at SummerSlam with special guest shenanigans from Shane McMahon. But aside from special matches, AJ is just so good in ring that he elevates every title he's attached to without trying much. Even if WWE doesn't do much with it, I won't allow the Women's United States Championship to be forgotten. Chelsea Green was the perfect pick for a first ever woman to hold the brand new belt. She's the maximizer of minutes. She's actually funny. She has so much personality, she makes the rest of the roster look bland. All that good work was rewarded, and that reward came towards the end of 2024 in form of a victory over Michin for the title. The subsequent reign was memorable for all the segments in which Chelsea acted like she was the President of the United States. She made the most out of every bit of screen time she got by building the best comedic dynamic with general manager Nick Aldis. She got clapped every time she stepped into the ring, but that's just a footnote in the grand scheme. After getting it perfectly right the first time, they immediately dropped the ball with the second champion, Zelina Vega. Don't get me wrong, Zelina definitely deserved to be a champion, but they went about it all wrong. They did nothing to get her over with the crowds, and the little goodwill she had with the crowds was completely snuffed out when she got a new Death Rebel theme that sounded as soulless as it gets. Heck, it basically sounded the same as SmackDown theme. Adding to that is that Zelina seemingly cracked underneath the pressure as her in-ring work got really sloppy, and she broke Chelsea Green's nose with a botched 619 and almost permanently injured her with a dangerous code red from the turnbuckle. Back to the men's version, let's bring up the curious case of Dolph Ziggler. At Clash of Champions 2017, Dolph Ziggler defeated Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode in a triple threat to walk out new champion. However, the next SmackDown episode he walked to the ring, cut a strange promo declaring that fans don't deserve his presence, then he just left the title in the middle of the ring and walked out. Whoever came up with the idea kinda disrespected both the championship as a whole, but mostly Dolph Ziggler himself, who is a great wrestler but never really was treated with the respect he deserved. Happy for him, he's doing better on the indies as Nick Nemeth. To close this out, I want to take a look at the good time that was Kevin Owens' gimmick, the new face of America. This perfectly encapsulates what is only possible with the US title. As a Canadian, Kevin Owens ran his mouth how much better Canada is than the United States. He ran open challenges to beat American representatives like Chad Gable. He claimed that he is the face of America, to get booed by every American crowd. Just imagine he won the Intercontinental instead of the US title. That just wouldn't have fit so well. As I mentioned before, he had great matches with AJ Styles and a program with Chris Jericho. Also a honorable mention for his List of Jericho run. Now it's your turn. Tell me your favorite and least favorite United States champion in the comments. You've been watching WWE.
The best things in wrestling.